oswe. Hello all, welcome to Robinsive Training. It's a continued video for the course Advanced Network Exploitation Expert. Myself Rikun Sindwad and I will be your instructor for this entire journey. I hold over 5 years of experience in cybersecurity. I'm a red teamer at work. I also do security researcher and hold multiple CVs. Couple of articles are published over Pen Test Magazine, OSCP, OSW and OSCP certified from Offensive Security. The course Advanced Network Exploitation Expert helps you to build core knowledge against network security and penetration testing. It is designed for everyone with the basic understanding for the cybersecurity domain, like basic networking and the basic pen testing things. An example would be anyone with the knowledge of CEH. Post completion of the course, you will able to gain core concept understanding over various topics, perform internal or external penetration testing, perform extensive network assessment, find security misconfiguration within Active Directory environment, able to do privilege escalation over Windows and Linux machines, write automation scripts, and many more to go. Please read the disclaimer before moving ahead with the course content. This will be third video for the OS command injection. If you haven't watched the other two, then I would recommend to go and start with that, because in the very first video I have explained how a particular web application can execute OS command using various functions like shell exec, and some of them are listed here. I've specifically gone through PHP, and that is what we will going to continue further. However, other than PHP, this will gonna be identical. Of course, function name would be changed and the method would be a little different, but yeah, the concept would be identical to the same. In the second video, I have explained some of the essential topics like some of the ways through which we can execute multiple commands in a single line. And in today's topic or today's video, we're gonna look through some of the exploitation, a practical exploitation, I would say. So for the practical exploitation, I would be using DVWA web application. The DVWA web application offers few of the security level, and that is really good to learn. If I go back to DVWA security, we'll start from the very low. If I hit submit, it will change my security level to the low. Now, as the security is low, I can now navigate to command injection, and from which we can even read the source code. So by just clicking on the source code button, I'll have this nice and decent source code. What this source code will gonna do? So yeah, it will gonna verify if there is anything sent through the post method as a submit. If it is, then it will go further to the next line. It will gonna get the input in a particular variable target. The input will be through the request method. Request would be either get or the post. It will gonna allow both. The variable name would be IP address or just IP, not the address, of course. Then it will gonna determine OS and execute the ping command. It will gonna verify for the Windows, this will gonna execute this particular command, and for the Linux, it will gonna execute this particular command. So now assume that there is a feature offered by your web application, or let's say your router page, to ping a particular device. And this would be something identical, right? This could be possible. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna verify if it is a Windows or Linux. I mean the host OS where this web application is hosted on. So this is multi host application. So for that, it has this particular check. Means you can set up this web application on Windows as well as Linux. So when it is hosted on a Linux environment, then this will gonna execute this particular command. That is ping -c4, means it will gonna count 4, or 4 ping requests would be sent to the particular target that you specify. Means whatever you specify here, that will gonna be sent through this shell exec function. And now what the command injection would be here is pretty much simple. So assume that this target is something expected to be retrieved from the user, right? Means it will gonna be concatenated with this entire command. So let me open my text editor very quickly. No, I don't want anything as such. I'll just gonna copy this out, right? And whatever my input, it will gonna be just here. So let's assume that I specified input as a 127.0.0.1. What it will gonna do? It will gonna execute this particular command through a console or shell, what I would say. If I hit enter, this would be the identical output, what I expect. Let's give it a go. What I'm gonna do, I'll just give it a try to specify 127.0.0.1 and let's submit. Here we go. This is something identical. I get the response back. Now what the command injection says, injecting or specific to OS, if I be very specific, what the OS command injection says, injection of OS command, where to the existing functionality, right? Here, existing functionality is something concatenating my user input with the existing code that will gonna be eventually executed through the shell exec function. Now, assume that I'm injecting additional character here next to this particular, let's say, line or this particular characters, right? What will gonna happen? Of course, it will gonna consider this entire as a command and execute through the shell exec function. So instead of this, if I specify something like 127.0.0.1 and using this semicolon, I will gonna end this entire command and start a new command here. As we seen in our previous video, we can have something similar, like we can use this semicolon to specify two commands all together in the same line. So this is what we will gonna extend here. So if I now try to copy this input, that is IP address, semicolon, who am I? Let's see what is the result. If I hit enter, here we go. I get the response of the first command as well as I get the response for the second. Let's try the different command. Instead of, I'm not going to specify 127 this time, just a semicolon and the command. So instead of that, let's say ifconfig. I'll hit enter. Oops. ifconfig. I'll hit enter. There is an error. Let me try something, semicolon, IP space ADDR. Perfect. So ifconfig function was not there for the reason this didn't work. But yeah, IPADDR worked, and you see, we were able to execute OS command or inject OS command by just leveraging the existing functionality, by abusing the existing functionality with the spatial characters. Other than that, we have seen a multiple, right? Not just limited to this. We can also use something like OR, right? So let's give it a try with this way. If we able to execute, I'll hit enter and it works. It successfully worked here. Now let's change the security to medium and let's see what is the difference there. I have changed it to medium. As you see, the security level is medium right now. I'll navigate back to command injection, view the source code, and here we go. The only change here would be this particular line. Basically, it will gonna check if the command contains character like and or it contains this semicolon, then it will gonna be blacklisted. It will gonna be removed. So if I now try something like who am I, semicolon, let's say, or it will be something like semicolon and who am I? Let's see if that works. It waits for the response. It just tries to load the response and fails. No output because the code says this is successfully prevented. However, we can use something like AND, because here it has just removed AND. It's like a twice AND, but not the one single. So I can use something like and who am I? And here we go. It works as well. So we managed to bypass with this way. Other than that, we can also do something like, let's say, let me open my text editor here. So we cannot use semicolon, we cannot use and. However, there are other characters that we can use. Now let's see. So the very first would be, let's say we can use this. This is something we cannot. We can use this way as well. So we just have to use pipe, and we just used a couple seconds ago. We can also use this way. So let's give it a try with that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add here within this negative apostrophe. I'm gonna say, let's say echo 127.0.0.1. What this will gonna be doing, this will gonna execute this particular command, and this will gonna return 127.0.0.1, and that entirely will gonna be concatenated with this particular command. So eventually the output of this particular command would be something like -c for 127.0.0.1. Let's give it a try by just injecting this part. Here we go. Let's hit enter. Perfect. Here, what we found the successful response from the for the ping, because this will gonna be eventually this particular command. You can obviously replace this echo and the command with whatever you wish to. For an example, I want to do some malicious activity, executing malicious code, program, anything, I can do that. But this will not gonna return something. Errors are blocked currently, so we cannot see any errors based on the web application functionality. However, your code or command would be absolutely executed whatever you specify within this. For an example, what I'm gonna do, I'll quickly run Python HTTP server. So let's say Python 3-m, there's a module http.server on port number, let's say 80. And what I'm gonna do, instead of this echo, I'm gonna just use curl http://120, not the 127, it's 10.0.0. Probably 130.13. Let's just quickly confirm. Yeah, that is the one. And now let's give it a try to run this particular command, just to have an idea of whether or not my command is being executed there. And here we go. What I see here, I got a request from 10.0.0.15. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, you can use this way, as well as you can use something like dollar open bracket close bracket, and you can specify your command. For an example, I want to echo this time local host, and if I hit enter, I'll gonna get the same. Here we go. It just tries to ping to localhost. Means the echo will gonna be evaluated here, and the output would be something like localhost. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, that was all for the particular medium security. Let's see how we can bypass the high security, which is specified by, of course, the DBWA application itself. So what I'm going to do, I'll quickly navigate back to command injection, view the source code, and here's the list. Now we have a huge list of blacklisted, I can say blacklisted characters. We cannot use and, we cannot use semicolon, we cannot use pipe, but although there is a catch, it's not just a pipe, it's like a pipe with an additional space. We cannot use minus, we cannot use dollar, we cannot use brackets, we cannot use negative apostrophe, we cannot even use the double pipe here. All right, something what I found here is the pipe with an additional space. We cannot use with additional space. However, we can go with something like pipe who am I, right? So this is quite common mistake which developer makes. It's although hypothetical, but it's still something you might find in the real world scenario. It's like a small mistake. So if we go with this, this will gonna work. If we go something with an additional space, this will gonna be total failure. Let's give it a try on both. So I'm gonna add pipe and space along with the who am I, and let's see what's the response. Of course, it is gonna wait, and eventually I'm not gonna get anything. Perfect, as expected. Although what I can even do is pipe, and immediately I'm gonna write who am I. And let's see, here we go. It did work pretty perfectly. It worked well. So what do I mean, or what I wanted to explain here? Well, developers sometimes make such mistakes. You should always check all the potential ways. And the command injection is only applicable where your data is being sent to the functions that we have learned so far. For an example, the functions like shell exec, functions like pass through or exec or system, something similar to it. If your user supplied value is being sent to that particular function, then there would be possibility to exploit this particular vulnerability. So yeah, that is it. That is all in my mind for this particular command injection, and this would be the final video for the same. Now we will gonna start with a different vulnerability, understanding the source code, moving further with the exploitation, finding bypasses, and exploiting it. So that's it. That's all. See you next time.